Hey guys, welcome. Check this out. Oh, you didn't really get to see it, but thanks for watching my video. We're watching 500 ounces of silver at a time being launched out of Patriot missiles. There goes another 500. It's like a monster box. It's a lot of silver, and these are just training. You know, check it out. It's going straight up, just like my channel. No, man, it's amazing to me to think about how much silver is being we're never getting this back, by the way. You'll never see it again. You can't recover it, but it's necessary. I'm not saying it's good or bad or indifferent, but I mean, it should definitely have an impact on the price, especially given world events. Check that out. That is awesome. I love that. Tomahawk missile contains 500 ounces of silver, which is equivalent to 16 kilograms of silver, says a key resource for the military because it's malleable, ductile, and one of the strongest elements known. In 2022, the world mined 822.4 million ounces of silver, which is the largest source of the global silver supply. Now, we've mentioned missiles, but we're not even going to begin to start talking about radar systems and other equipment that has a ton of silver in it. And there's a lot, but also gold too, because of the plating. Now, we we against the Houthis in Yemen, we we did them a favor. I didn't realize that the Houthis were stackers, and we obliged them and sent them 50,000 ounces really, really fast right at them. And that's because we're generous people. Actually, I don't think that's how it went at all, but I mean, let's go with it. This is a pretty cool article from American Press. It basically talks about how the House approved 61 billion in funding for the war-torn country Saturday after Speaker Mike Johnson pushed a larger foreign aid bill despite threats. Um, you know, regardless of what side you're on this, is irrelevant. That's not what I'm trying to highlight. Of course, Zelensky, he was thankful. He said it's going to save thousands of lives and help both nations to become stronger. Personally, I think it's a little one sided, but I'm just pointing this article out because it gets kind of in depth. There's a couple things on here that need to be pointed out. Biden, of course, said he'd sign it immediately and stuff would be shipped quickly. The Pentagon has supplies ready to go, but they haven't been able to push it out because they're broke. They're broke. They can't afford it. More than 44 billion worth of weapons, maintenance, training, and spare parts. That's crazy, man. The Pentagon was 10 billion in the hole because it's going to cost more now to replace the systems it sent to the battlefield in Ukraine. That was back in December, folks. I think we're starting to see the chickens come home to roost. That was kind of the point. It does go on, but we're talking billions here. And we're not just all going to Ukraine. You got to remember, what we send over has to be replenished. The reason why the funding dried up is because there was no guarantee that Congress was going to vote in money to restock it. That's like $20 billion. So, in other words, whatever we send over to anybody, anywhere, we're out double because now we have to replenish it. So, the cost to replenish it theoretically should equal what we sent over, right? So, I guess what's being inferred here is not only a loss of precious metals, but also a setup for hyperinflation and a huge deficit of what we have to restock. And, you know, that begs the question, how much do we need? How much should be in stock? How much have we gotten rid of? How much have we depleted? Well, the thing is, we were already depleted before Ukraine thing even kicked off. Remember all the stuff we left in Afghanistan? The stuff that had to be destroyed, the stuff that actually went to the enemy? Yeah, check this out. This shows stuff that was transferred to Ukraine already and how much time it's going to take to rebuild it in months. We left ourselves wide open. And the scary thing is, all this is on the internet. You think they don't know this? You think countries aren't looking? They're laughing their heads off at it. But besides that, let's get back on track here. We've got over 1,155 rounds. That's a lot of copper, son. You poo-poo people stacking copper. Now, granted, stacking copper, it takes an awful lot of copper. But each one of these 155 rounds has half a kilo. That's over 1 pound per round. That's a big bullet. That's a real big bullet. I'm intimately familiar with them. Those were great IEDs over in Iraq. But look at the javelins, the HIMARS, the GMLRS, the Stingers. Those are missiles. That's silver, and that's a lot of them. This doesn't even HL. Oh man, they don't even give a number. They just say thousands. Says here the U.S. has committed over $15.2 billion in security assistance to Ukraine since January 2021. I don't know when this was written. The latest $2.1 billion, and it goes on. So, according to this, it seems like all of NATO nations are low. That's a worldwide ammunition deficit, sounds like. Sounds like an opportunity. If you ain't holding silver or precious metals, you might want to start thinking about it. But it also lists the minerals that are essential to national security: rare earths, nickel, uranium. Oh, uranium 1, that comes up, doesn't it? I digress. Lithium. There was a source of lithium sourced in the United States. It's in the works. We'll see where that goes. Um, It doesn't mention silver in the list. However, it does mention silver in Apache helicopters, which there must be a lot of them. I didn't get a chance to look at it, but if there's a lot of silver worth mentioning in Apache helicopters, I can't imagine what it is, because they sure were quick to mention them in missiles. I don't know. Maybe it's classified. I hope something's classified. It says the National Defense Authorization Act authorizes $816.7 billion in absolute terms, one of the highest since World War II. And $1 billion of that goes to uh, procurement of minerals, which essentially doubles the value of silver if and when it's used. Copper demand is forecast to increase more than 100% by 2035. He goes on to say that over the summer last year, Ukraine fired 7,000 artillery rounds, much of it supplied by US and Europe. Russia fired an estimated 11 million in 2022. So essentially, that's 5,500 tons of copper, or the same amount of copper and 1,170 wind turbines, which incidentally is the same number of turbines in UK. Google validates what I said earlier about the 155 round contains a half a kilogram of copper, depending on the shell and manufacturing process. It also goes on to say that copper demand is expected to increase by more than 100% by 2035. I don't know what they're taking into account. Uh, Building is crazy. China's building is through the roof. They're expanding. You're going to need copper for that, obviously. Guess you could thank Thomas Edison for that. If we were to listen to Nikolai Tesla, probably wouldn't need copper wire for electricity, and we'd have a whole lot more copper at our disposal. But I digress. That's not what this video is about, obviously. So I say all that to say this. Don't look at the silver spot prices every day. You don't have to. You don't have to look and be all in tune with the precious metals. Look further down the road. Yeah, it's going to rise and fall. It did it a lot in the past. It's historical. It's a cycle, just like anything else. But just keep stacking, because the silver price is going to go up regardless. Either the value is going to go up, or it's going to go up due to hyperinflation, and everything's going to go up. And this is just one tiny sector, one little the military, a world military. I mean, that's just one instance, and there's a lot more to look at. Hey, this is Steven. I'm out of here. Bye bye.